Good evening, and it's Halloween, and oh my gosh, looky here. It's Halloween. I'm David Queener.
Yeah, you left me.
It's
Wow.
trick or treat. Oh, there he goes again.
God almighty. Let's take a commercial break.
I've tried to tell you, do not pass your pills around. You get.
I didn't give him anything. He just come in here like that. That's all I got to say.
Well, I
Let's
tell you
move
what,
on.
I'm tickled to death that Kentucky fans are this fired up about a football season.
I am too.
It's been a long time.
I am too.
And they deserve to be, but I'm not sure that I've ever seen anyone carry it that far. I mean, seriously, would you leave home wearing that?
No.
No, that's exactly right. And his wife, if he wasn't buying her dinner, she wouldn't be with him.
That's exactly right. Wow.
She's hiding behind that fireman's
She's
hat.
hiding behind that hat
Huh?
there. So I don't blame her. I'd walk out. I'd go keep on going out the door and leave him
Tried
standing
to get his
in
little
there.
boy on, and he said, "No, you must be kidding me."
Yeah, he wouldn't even do it.
Well, here we
You know,
are.
some people do anything for a good laugh. That's all I got to say.
If it's trick or treat night, it's playoff time.
It is at that. Time
And,
to rock.
Big night. Appreciate you taking in for me last week. I know it's going to cost me, but you've got the credit card, so
Yeah, sure.
It's time to
yeah,
keep
we
on.
know. Everybody, listen, you need to stop that line because everybody knows
Oh,
how
no,
tight
no.
you are.
Everybody's got that
Everywhere I go.
No, no.
Everywhere I go now.
No,
It's even down in your own hometown, down Rockwood. They even know the
No.
truth.
no.
So
We're good. We're
we'll
good.
we'll rock on with it, man.
It's this Friday night. We'll have Rockwood on the radio. I think it's 103.9. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, 103.9, and we
five-
may have it.
and
We may
five-
have it
is
simulcast on TV.
580
I
on the
can't-
AM dial.
I
580 on the AM dial. 103.9 on the FM dial.
I can't get my producer to.
Yeah, that's not
connect.
much. You don't have much of producer though.
Well,
I got to say.
I agree with that. Let's run around the
Run around the block.
Run around the block here for a minute. I would never see you back for that.
No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't come back. I'd keep on going to get my truck and go home.
Last week, big game. Oak Ridge plays Fulton.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, Oak Ridge played Fulton. That
Fulton won.
should be your cue. Okay,
Fulton won.
talk to me. Help me.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't at the game, so
Well,
I can't
mean,
tell
you
you
talked
nothing.
about the game. You were on Friday night with it. Talked about
We
it.
didn't talk much about it, really.
Okay,
Just to
never
be
mind,
honest with
never
you.
mind.
Well, no, we didn't.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
mean, there
okay.
wasn't.
That's okay.
There wasn't much. Coach Gaddis talked about it. They just, they lost Booker sometime in the game, and when they lost him, I would assume they lost their offense. Probably, it's what it sounded like. Even though, if you depends on who you talk to, still Oak Ridge had a chance, maybe late in the ball game, to maybe tie that game up. But then you talk to another side, and they said it was never in question Fulton was going to win the game the whole time. So
Okay.
I don't know. That's two teams that we had been pointing to all year long. That was going to be a big game, and it turned out. I don't think there was a lot of fans there. From what I was told, the attendance was really slim. So I don't know that for sure. That's just what I was told.
Well, I think one thing for those of you that are dressing up tonight, stay tuned because Coach Gaddis is bringing Queener's mask in tonight.
I'm not wearing it.
Why?
Not-
Look here.
not
I
till
mean,
he
there you
signs.
are. Look at you. Look at those eyes.
Not till he
Look at those
signs.
eyes,
Not till he
baby.
signs this piece of paper I got in my pocket.
Look at those eyes. Boy, that's you.
Which I don't have to worry about that anyway. Cause
That's you.
Let's look right here, and I'll tell you what his chances are going.
Oh,
Wednesday.
here we go now. You've broken the computer module out here now.
Oak Ridge's chances of being the state champs 12%. Not very good.
Who's the 5A?
Champ, if you read it, look at this. It's Fulton.
Fulton?
Yeah, or Fulton and Henry County right there. It's and it winds up being Fulton. If you look at this, if you believe what's on this piece of paper. So
Okay.
It's too bad we're not able to take phone calls tonight because we could probably get some people to call tonight. Just to flip over to Anderson County's part of it. If you look at Anderson County's chances of making it to the finals, it's 3.7%. You look at Greenville's chances at 72.1.
What are the chances of those two getting to the game 3? Is it broken down?
Game 3. Game 3 would say that's 1, 2. Hold on a minute. 44.8 for AC, 99.3 for Greenville. Elizabethton is 54.7. So I would think
To get to game 3.
I would think they're picking. If I'm reading this right, Elizabethton will get to game 3, and Anderson County will not. According to the computers, it's not according to David Chris. According to the computers, not by me.
Who beats Anderson County?
Will Warren.
So who beats Anderson County?
I would think it says Elizabethton.
Well, you said they weren't going to get there.
No, I said Elizabethton probably has a better chance in the second round.
Oh, I thought you said what I understood you say was Elizabethton wouldn't get
to,
or Anderson County
and
Elizabeth
week
3
to make the round of 16, which that's round 2. Elizabethton has a 95% chance, and Anderson County has 97.
Okay.
To make the next round 3.
So they both get to round 2, and Elizabethton wins in round 3.
That's what the computer says.
And Elizabethton and Greenville. Huh?
Elizabethton wins round 2.
Well, Elizabethton wins game 3, right?
No.
Okay.
Elizabethton doesn't win game 3. Greenville wins game 3.
So that's Greenville and Elizabethton
and
in
then
week 3.
Greenville goes on and wins the championship because Elizabethton's chances of winning the championship are 3.8%. Anderson County's are 2.2% being champion.
Well, that's an interesting classification right there because there sits Union County. Union County 6-4, coming back to Anderson County, and the bus driver will not need directions to Anderson County.
If you want to talk about Union County's chances of making it to the round of 16, and that means they'll have to beat Anderson County Friday night. It's 2.4%.
But I'm
they
saying
don't even put a blip on the radar after that. They don't have a chance.
Coach Kerr will not have to tell the bus driver. He'll have, bus driver's got a GPS man.
No, he won't have
sitting
to.
in the front seat.
No, he won't have to tell the bus driver. But there it is.
23 years since they've been over 500. Wonder how long it's been since they were in the playoffs.
I was told 30 years.
30 years.
That's what I was told.
Wow.
So we talked to Coach Kerr Friday night. Me and Cox did. Jonathan Cox talked to him Friday night. He was really tickled. As I told you, it was sort of funny. He said, "Guys, I'm sorry if you can't hear me. We're celebrating." We said, "Well, Coach, you should be celebrating." He said, "We're at the Waffle House."
At the Waffle House.
At the Waffle House, they celebrating, and they did have. It was a lot of noise in the background, but he's really excited about his program, and he was more excited to tell us that next year they'll have turf put down at Union County for their boys to play on up there. So
turf.
Think about
Union
this,
County,
Ron.
And that's what? That's about a $700,000.
Yeah, if not more. If not more. Just think about this, though. Here's a program that 3 years ago was fixing to be eliminated, dropped, and now you've got in 2 years. Coach Kurz went up there in 2 years and turned that program around and won 6 ball games this year and going to the playoffs.
And look at some of the teams that he's beaten. I mean, those are powerhouse teams of the past.
Of the past, right. But you look at that, he started out with 19 kids, started out with no kids that were lifting weights that could lift over 300 pounds, he said. Now he's got a bunch of kids lifting over 300. So that's his MOs, get in the weight room. So he's done that. Now he's got 57 kids out, and I understand he's got one heck of a freshman class coming. There's about 20 of them, and there's supposed to be some really good athletes in that class. So if he stays up for a couple more years, there's really no telling what that Union County will do. I'm not saying they're going to win a state championship. I'm just going to say I think it's the biggest story in East Tennessee is what he's done with that program, and I really think he ought to be the coach of the year.
I'm going to say he gets some transfers.
Well, he might. I mean, I don't know. I just think he should be the coach of the year, though.
Oh,
for what he's done for
to the playoffs.
First trip
since they consolidated.
Consistent.
Wow.
So I was told 30 years. I don't know if that's correct or not. But anyway,
I concur with you.
You're good. You can concur with me. That's good. I just think he ought to be the coach of the year.
I agree.
I think it don't really matter what anybody else has done because that's just the story right there. I mean, whether you like Coach Kerr or not, that's that's a story.
Well, that's a movie.
It is. And he just told us Friday night, he said, what these kids need it more than anything is just to be loved on a little bit.
I mean, that's a state championship kind of deal for them already, 6-4.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We was
That's
talking
a
about
bowl game.
You're
That's
going
whatever.
you're going to do away with your program. You're going to eliminate football, and to have this happen in 2 years, 2-year time frame,
You know, and
He
some
went
of
up there
those
and put
seniors
some-
have played for probably 4 different coaches.
Possibly. He went up there and just put some stability in the program, I think, and I can hear him now, talking to kids in the hallway and getting them out, and to go from 19 to 57, that's a big jump
Well,
in itself.
And think about his enthusiasm. He'd been out of coaching for a couple of years.
Got back in it.
Got back in, so he's rested. He's full of it and ready to go. Has his son with him side by side.
Well, that's another thing he talked about, being able to coach with Josh. He was really liking that, and they were having a lot of fun. And I just think that's the story of the year. There's a lot of stories right now. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of teams had really good years, but I just think that's the story that that's something that everybody ought to be talking about.
Now,
It
you
doesn't really
mentioned,
matter what it happens to him Friday night.
You mentioned the weight room. How long after Anderson County built their school was it before he came? I know he came from Halls to Anderson County.
Yeah, he did.
How long had Anderson County High School been built when he got there?
I don't. Yeah, he was the third coach. I think he was the third coach up there, I believe.
The reason I was asking is if you go to Anderson County, I mean there is a separate building that is their weight room. So
yeah, and
I
that's
didn't
named
know if he
after some. No, it's named after his father-in-law. I think I'm not for sure, but I think
I didn't
so.
know if that was something that he was instrumental in developing that.
we
Anderson
asked
County.
we asked the Anderson County kids. We had a couple down Friday night that opened the show up with me and Cox, and they do understand and know about Kerr, and they know who he is, and they know a little bit about him. So, it's just a big thing for him coming back. I would think it's probably going to be an emotional bus ride for him.
Yeah. I think
it's sort of like coming home. You're coming home.
I think one of our first, maybe the first or second season that we had moved to Oak Ridge. We were on the sidelines against the Fulton game, and Fulton was up like 21 points, and Anderson County came back and won that football game.
Yeah, had the Price twins on that team.
That was a
Had the Price twins on that.
Yeah, we had to get back and do
Yeah.
a Friday night scoreboard show, and
Yeah.
then, and in the meantime, they come back and win.
Yeah, so he turned the program around at Halls. He turned the program around at AC, and he's turned the program around at Union County. And I don't have a
Good
vote
for
in the
him.
coach year. I just think it's really good. It's a really good story. It's a story about somebody that cares about young men and their lives. And he's went in and he's done what he said. And he said he told them if y'all just get with me and believe me, it'd be good. And that's exactly what's happened.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll break down the top 10 and get some playoff brackets going.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
With so many places available to shop for a new car, people are often left wondering how to choose. Why not come to the place that's been providing excellent customer satisfaction for over 45 years, Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman. We're the only dealership in Tennessee to have won the Subaru Love Promise Award for 7 years in a row. Read our online reviews and you'll see that Earl Duff Subaru is the right choice for all your automotive needs.
Available in 7 or 8 passenger models. The all-new 2019 Ascent is available now at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We buy it on the spot and we pay you a lot. We treat you like family. at RMG. Yeah, treat you like family at RMG. Rome Metals will treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area, all types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Well, down at the Pizza Inn here on the Turnpike, I see blue lights out in the parking lot. I bet our Kentucky fans saw them blue lights when out there.
He's
They probably got him loaded up.
They got him in the back seat of the car. He's going to be on camera again.
Yeah, he saw those blue lights and thought he was a Kentucky fan.
Yeah, he's got confused. He's sort of like you, confused.
Well, I'll tell you what, since I've dressed up as David Queener tonight, I've had about 6
you're
people
doing a good
stop me
job.
out in the parking lot out there and asked me if I had my medication
That's
with
right.
me.
You're doing good tonight, buddy. Keep on doing it.
6A, top 10. And it hadn't changed much, has it?
Not really. I mean, you know what? Oakland might have jumped. Or didn't Oakland?
No,
Oakland
no,
number one
Oakland-
for just a week.
They
maybe?
were.
A week and
Till
Maryville.
after the Maryville game. Yeah.
I just don't know how you have 2 9-1 teams, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter to me. But then you got 3 teams that are 10-0, while the 3 teams that are 10-0 is not 1, 2, 3.
Strength of schedule.
Well, it might be, but Maryville, well, come on, Heritage, William Blunt, come on, yeah, okay.
Mount Juliet getting a new school, fixing to build a new school out in Wilson County for Mount Juliet, so that'll strengthen them a little bit. Farragut, Farragut goes down to Bearden, so they drop a little bit.
But managed to win the region, though.
Managed to win the region. So that's 6A. So in 5A, there stands Fulton again. And Oak Ridge, number 5, so they drop a couple spots.
David Crockett getting some votes this week at 10-0. They say that's a for real football team. I don't know.
5A, you must need to you do Tennessee history to get in. There's Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, Kirby. So you gotta have some good nicknames to get in the top 5 there. Knox Central. Been pretty consistent. Knox Central's been down for a couple of years. They come back and 8-2. So that's pretty strong for them. Oak Ridge will be taking on Ray County, sort of a menace to them in the last couple of years. Don't think that Ray County will come in this year near as strong as they were the last time they visited Blankenship and got a big win. I don't think Coach Mark Pemberton, talked to him a couple weeks ago, and I don't think he's got some injuries, got some young kids. So I look for Oak Ridge to take care of business Friday night.
Well, Pemberton's chances of winning Friday night, advance to the round of 16. According to the computers, only 5.6%.
5.6.
Oak Ridge
Well, you're
is,
into that computer stuff, aren't you?
I am, because it's here in front of me. And Oak Ridge is like 94.4%.
To move on.
To move on.
Okay.
Or make it to the next next round.
4A, and there you have Greenville, Anderson County, and then Elizabethton number 4. And the only loss that Elizabethton has on their sheet was to Greenville. So that's the reason you have that. But and there's Stone Memorial. Stone Memorial, a team that's been down and has come back. They changed classifications, and there's a good example of how you can do that, David. Stone Memorial was in Kingston's classification and region for a number of years.
Got away from them just because Alcoa
and didn't
well,
do
not
very
really.
well.
They went up.
So now they go to they change regions, move over into a Chattanooga region, and just like Anderson County now down in that area, they've done well.
Well, it's the first time we've really seen Dyersburg that high this year. So if I look at them, and the computer says for them to make the round of 16, they got the highest possibility of anybody making it to round of 16, 100%. So I don't know who they play. So
well, they're not on this list, are they?
No, they're not on that list, because everybody else is like 99 something, but they're 100%. So who they're playing's record might be one of them 3-win teams or 4-win teams. So, but you're right. Stone moves out of that, gets out of. I guess they're playing up. I'm assuming, or maybe they got classified.
No, they just got in a different region.
Up.
They just got different region and.
If they were in Kingston, they got
moved
moved
up.
up.
I think they moved up. They moved up for.
Brad says they got moved up.
Numbers-wise, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You get away from Alcoa there, and you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that game.
And in 3A, no change there as we go to again Alcoa and all the rest of them.
Alcoa has the highest chance of anybody winning all the way out. I mean, they're the highest, according to the computer. They're the highest one.
And Kingston takes on Unicoi County at Unicoi County Friday night. So, Kingston, and we've got a former Kingston player out here in the audience eating a bunch of pizza tonight. And I'm gonna tell you what, you talk about somebody that put a lick on you now. Mr. Lambert would put a lick on you, buddy.
Would he?
He would put a lick on you. And make you like it.
Make you like it.
Make you like
it.
Sort of like he's eating that pizza.
Like he's eating that pizza.
Yeah.
We talked to Coach Pankey Friday night. He was really tickled with his ball team, the way they'd sort of fought through it all year long and hung in there and, came to practice every day and worked real hard for them to work their way into the playoffs was considering the type of year they've had, it was a pretty big accomplishment for him. So he was really proud of that.
Well, and you can understand, because if you talk to Mr. Lambert out here, losing the first game to Harriman is such a rivalry that it's hard to overcome that. And then
the way they lost
and
it.
you overcome that, and then then you start in that region play, and you start out 0-4.
Yeah, something like that.
0-3, 0-4, and you got to respect that bunch. You got to respect the coaches. You got to respect the players for getting themselves up off the floor and getting into the playoffs.
Well, they lose to Harriman, then they lose to Oliver Springs. So, the Harriman game was an emotional game. They lead the whole ball game and lose it in the last minutes of the fourth quarter.
On a fluky play.
And it just everything that could go wrong with Kingston in the fourth quarter went wrong with Kingston in the fourth quarter. And everything Harriman done was right. So it was a big win for Harriman and a big huge loss for Kingston.
Yeah, getting to the playoffs.
And I said all along, I might be wrong. I said all along, I didn't think Kingston ever recovered from losing that ball game. I think that ball game haunted them all year long.
Well, I think you're right. Much as I hate to say that, I think you might be
right.
I
thought that haunted them in there.
2A, Meigs County, and what a team and what a program they've put together. That's 20-0 regular season now.
I think so.
Back
to back.
And last year Rockwood goes down there in week 2 and comes away with a 10-9 victory. And it's been a long time. It may be the best win before that going back may have been Marion County at Rockwood.
Didn't Meigs County's quarterback get hurt in the Rockwood game though?
He did. I mean, he's limping off the field. They have to call timeout to get him, to get him up and in there. I mean, several times He probably I kept waiting for him to come play on crutches. I mean, he just wasn't going to leave. But that was a I mean, you're talking, David, you're talking about packed house around the fence, and you're right on, and the bench right on the fence. I mean, you're right there, and so in fact you could talk to the players. There were a lot of fans talking to the DBs.
Sort of like down at Cofield.
Oh,
you're
much
right
closer.
Much closer.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
even closer there in Greenback.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're pretty close to both
there
of those
wasn't
places.
there wasn't 6 feet from the sideline to the fence.
Yeah, that's the way it is down at Cofield then.
But really, and a lot of people, and that's one of Coach Webb's fears, I'm sure, is a lot of people are already counting on going to Meigs County, but Rockwood's got to go play a Hampton team that's pretty good. Can you go back to the 2A? I know Hampton's not in that top 10, but some of those. Let's see. I don't see any of those teams that are there. But I guarantee you, Coach Webb's going to have to keep his team
see
up.
What the computer says.
Oneida there, and what a nice job they've done at Oneida this year. A lot of folks didn't expect Oneida. You know, when they lost to York Institute, a lot of folks thought Oneida was going to be pretty weak, but Oneida with 255. Wow. Well, that's a tough place to play at Oneida.
Well, if you look at the computer, it says that Rockwood has a 61.8% chance of making it to the next round, and that Unicoi has, is it Unicoi? Is that right?
Well, Hampton.
Hampton
is who Rockwood.
at 38-2 for Hampton. So Rockwood is the favored there.
Well, that would be 100%. So if Rockwood had 60-something, Hampton's going to have 30-something.
So that's the kicker. I didn't pay no attention to it.
I know
man.
you didn't. Hey, it's
just,
Halloween. Come on, man.
You go on with some mud.
It's Halloween. Come on.
You're a Georgia fan.
Single A. Oh, I knew you. See, you always got to bring.
Everybody
that stuff.
knows you're a Georgia
Look here.
fan. They're asking
Oliver
now when you
Springs,
go to games.
Number 8. What a nice year. And you call that one. Did we have them 6-4 or something at the beginning of the year?
No, I don't think we did. I think we had them maybe 8-2 or 7-3, something like that. I think we had them up there.
We had them that high.
You go back and look at your piece of paper over at the studio, and I bet it is. I think we had them. We had them where they're at. I really do.
I knew we had them. We had them thinking they were going to have a really good year, but I don't think we had them beating.
There's a
Kingston.
Let's look at Oliver Springs overall. Look at they had a chance, and I know they didn't win it. They had a chance to beat Greenback earlier in the year. Played them really. Had a chance to,
Led
Oliver
Cofield the whole
Oliver
way.
Springs could really be 10-0 right now.
They could
because they had a chance, and you have to take advantage of those chances. I don't know if Oliver Springs can beat Greenback if they play them again. I don't even know if it will be close again, but I know they're really wanting them. So we'll see. Is all I've got to say. But it'll be at Greenback up. Yeah, see, Greenback had a bye last week, and they have a bye this week.
Well, they've got that kid from Knox Catholic, I think, that's enrolled today over there.
I wouldn't doubt it. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, they got the kid from Alcoa.
They're going to trick or treat them over there.
They are
at Greenback.
And that's been a big. And that's
how's
been
that worked out for them?
How's what?
The kid from Alcoa.
I've not really heard anybody say that he's went in and actually lit it up, but I'm sure it helped because they didn't have a running game when they played Oliver Springs. They didn't really have a running game.
To me, the only injustice in this playoff system right here is Harriman didn't get in. And you look and you see some of these. There's a 1-9 team, and Harriman didn't get in. That's the injustice I see in this thing.
Yep, you just.
Yeah,
it is, but you got to look in their region.
It is.
Everybody that went in their region
but I'm
went.
Just saying, to me, that's you look at Midway. It wouldn't surprise me if Midway goes to Cloudland and wins. Midway's offense is probably as good as I've seen all year.
Yeah, I agree with you. They played a really good game last Thursday night against Oliver Springs, and like I told you, going into the fourth quarter, we're tied up 20-20, and it's just. We're sort of saying in the booth, me and Chase are just maybe who has the ball last might be the team that wins it. And Oliver Springs drives and scores, and then Midway, likes to throw the ball, and they throwed one up, and the Hill kid intercepted it and took it. I don't know how far he took it to the house. I don't know how far he went.
This
but
is one.
he had
this
two pick
is
sixes in that game.
This is a region right here that could play themselves in week 2.
I agree with that.
I mean, Midway and Cofield
Yeah.
could very easily be playing. Oliver Springs and Greenback could be playing.
I agree with that.
That could be a rematch right there all the way.
Yeah, I think it's looking like that. It's looking like that
And then
right
if that's
now.
the case, then you got another rematch in week 3.
Yes.
So and if you're really looking at the playoffs, man, it doesn't get any better than getting to play the same teams you've played. Otherwise, you're starting to play somebody from another part
Probably
of the state.
the only team that's got a shot at Greenback right now might be Oliver Springs. I don't know if Cofield.
Oh, I think Cofield. The game that we saw, Cofield and Greenback, and I think Cofield had some kids hurt that night.
And I think they still do have a bunch hurt. So,
and that was before
beat them 49.
But that was before McKinney's playing quarterback too.
This is his first game.
So I mean, I think there's.
Well, no, I've seen Cofield go to Greenback and win that ball game. So I'm not saying they're not able to. This year might not be the year. Might not be the year. And I think out of all those teams right there, the one that's got the chance is Oliver Springs, if you want to give them a chance.
And Wartburg 4-6, and that just goes to show you that good things can happen if you just keep on trying and keep on chucking. Was that the little train that could? They've chugged and chugged and got to the top of the hill.
But if you look at that part of that region, you got a 4-6 team and a bunch of teams that are 3-5, and Meigs County sitting there at 10-0. I mean, really. Not, I mean, other than 09 and Rockwood and South Green, I mean, it's really not that part of that bracket's not real strong.
No, but that Meigs County sitting down there at the bottom is really tough.
Bottom part, that's what I'm saying.
Really
They're
tough.
really tough. They beat everybody on, and because they're 10-0, they beat everybody on that right there that they've had to play. They've won those ball games, so they've took care of business for sure.
Okay.
I think they're on a mission, man.
Yeah.
They're on a mission to Cookville to bring the gold ball home.
Well, and that
just
was
being
the mission
honest,
last
okay?
year. I mean,
it was, but it got
taken away from
them. It got taken away, but I think ever since that game, that's been their goal is to get back. I don't know that I would want to be Rockwood going to Meigs County in a couple of weeks. That's just me. I don't know that I'd want to make that trip. I would probably sit and listen to you on the radio call that game. That might be a little easier because you could turn you off. But if you're there, you won't be able to turn it off.
Well, I tell you what, you got a knife in your hand there, huh?
I don't think Rockwood has a chance.
Oh, I'm not talking about Rockwood having a chance. I'm talking about turning me off.
Well, turn you off. You don't have to listen to it no more.
That's pretty blunt.
If it's 49-0, you don't want to listen no more. They turn you off.
Woo. Where were we? Golly, that
turn you off, man. That's turned you off.
You talk about Meigs County and Greenback. Meigs County probably has 5 or 6 players from Ray County. Starting quarterback is from Ray County. Last year, the big linebacker was from Ray County.
Has anybody ever asked that question, why those kids are at Meigs County and not at Ray County? Huh?
Oh, yeah, they know. They know. I mean,
why?
Well, most of them probably didn't think they were going to get any playing time at Ray County.
Must be pretty good football players to go to Meigs County.
And the coach at Meigs County, coach at Meigs County is the former coach at Ray County.
Oh,
so he's got a little inside.
He's got a little inside.
Yeah.
They don't run over.
I mean, I'm not saying there's anything illegal. I'm just saying.
I didn't say nothing about illegal. I just wondered if they went to play for a better coach, maybe. That's all I said.
Oh, so you want to get that little gig in again, don't you?
No gig. I just asked. I just asked.
Yeah. Class 3A, and this is another one.
There's Claiborne County sitting at 2-8.
Claiborne County.
What's their chance to win Friday night against Alcoa? 0.
I like them. They've had some kids out, and they're back. And
yeah, I'd like them too, buddy. I'd like them too.
Yeah, I like them.
Let's look and see.
And you can put that thing up now. I mean, that thing is going to tell you that Alcoa has a 98.7% of advancing. Yeah. Well, my final answer is 99.5. That's my final answer.
To make it to the round of 16?
No, make it out of that game.
No, it's 100%.
Okay. How about to the next game?
And Claiborne County. Let me find Claiborne. Let's just see what their chances are. Seriously, I don't even see them. 0.
Okay. Austin East and Chucky Doak. Austin East will do there. Kingston and Unicoi County. Kingston could surprise Unicoi County. Kingston could surprise Unicoi County. No, I think Kingston. I like Kingston's chances. If they get their offense going and can get up early, Kingston will give them some trouble.
Well, I see Kingston with Unicoi County.
Well, what's Kingston's, and we'll get to Unicoi County's.
Kingston is at 63.1.
63. So 37 for Unicoi County.
I don't even see them on here. I don't even see Unicoi County on here. There they are, 36-9.
Yeah, pretty quick, wasn't it? See, I don't need a computer. See.
Yeah. Well, you need a computer. First of all, you need somebody to tell you.
Well, if
what
they just
to say. Yeah,
that might be right.
That's what
okay, where are we now?
Talking about Kingston.
4A.
And then after that, Kingston's percentage goes to 0.
After to get to 3.
To get to round 3.
Playing Alcoa, yeah.
Playing Alcoa.
But they can get to that next round, and they could win. They could win the second round. Kingston's got a pretty good football team. They've just had some.
No, they can't win the second round because they'd be playing Alcoa. That goes to 0.
Yeah, had some bad luck.
Add that up. That's 100% for Alcoa, 0 for Kingston.
That doesn't give Kingston much of a chance, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Trick or treat.
Well, but they'll go back to what we said earlier about Kingston. Just the type of season they've had, the year they've had, it's been a pretty good thing just to make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. And here's, this goes to show you the region that Anderson County's had. So Chattanooga Central, East Hamilton, and Howard. This region could win all 4 of those games.
Rounds 2 and 3 are huge rounds for this division right here. 2 being probably Anderson County and Elizabethan.
Well, you got to like the chances of a state championship coming out. Out of this region.
Either way, whether it's one of those 3 teams, I think that who wins the
third round
of those 3 teams in the third round, it's probably your state. That's probably a state championship game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and because Greenville, Sullivan South, Elizabethan should win. They should win. They should win out of that region. Anderson County is probably the only team that will represent in the second round that region.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right. They move on, and I would say it'll be Elizabeth and them, and then Greenville and probably Sullivan South
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then 5A.
And that's the upper region, and I think a team there that's really been overlooked this year, and everybody says they're a really good football team, is Davy Crockett. But the team playing the best right now is probably Central. They're playing a whole lot better than they did at the first of the year. So the rebound, I think they started out 0-2 and rebounded and run off 8 straight.
And those teams aren't typically, Davy Crockett.
Daniel Boone's good too this year.
But most of those teams don't get very far in the playoffs.
Well, they never do. It doesn't seem like. And I guess
South Doyle is going to be a team that's going to be.
Well,
hard.
South Doyle's a team that's sort of been a disappointment this year because most people thought that they would be a better football team and even what the 7-3 record.
But they started 0-2.
They started out slow too, so they've rebounded fairly nicely. But I think a lot of people were looking at whether it was 10-0 or 9-1, and it didn't pan out.
And in 5A, there you have it, Fulton, Lenore City rebounding to get into the playoffs. Catholic, a team that's been up and down some, and Knox West is a team that really got off to a slow start, and they just haven't been able to put it all together. We talked about Ray County. Ray County had some close games in a pretty solid region down there. Oak Ridge, Oak Ridge. A lot of folks think this is the year for Oak Ridge.
Even though Oak Ridge lost Friday night, I think they got the better part of the draw if you look where they're at, because look at the top part. If Fulton wins and Catholic wins, that's a round 2 matchup, Fulton and Catholic. So you stay away from them for another round. And the winner of that game and possibly the Oak Ridge and I'll say the Saudi Daisy game could be a third round. That'd be a third round matchup. Could be that the winner of the Fulton Catholic and the winner of the Oak Ridge if it's Saudi Daisy or Clinton.
Can Clinton use the last couple of weeks with wins? Can they use that momentum getting into the playoffs and upset Saudi Daisy?
Maybe they could. They're playing really well. They're playing really good football right now.
They're on
Somebody
the road.
said, I was told, I think they said this on the radio, maybe yesterday or today one, up on my end. I think they said the Washington kid was hurt, and if he's out, that's a big part of their offense. So if he's, I don't know that he is, but I was told that he was. So
now,
if
Saudi Daisy had a couple of big wins in their region, but just couldn't put it. Just couldn't put it together.
If you look at Saudi Daisy, I think around 40-some points a game probably is what they've been hanging on people, the ones they've won anyway. But
this is a big step for Clinton. This is a big step getting back to the playoffs.
It's the first time they've been in the playoffs
Regardless of
since
how you get
14
there,
or 15.
it's a big step.
It is a big step for them. I mean, even though one of those wins is a forfeit.
It doesn't matter how you get there. It's just it's a big step to get back into that playoffs.
It's a big step. But if Powell does the right thing, don't play the ineligible player, Clinton they don't get that opportunity.
So in 6A,
Bearden's had a really good year, made a really good rebound, but they're one and done, man.
Do you remember when Cleveland was undefeated for about 4 or 5 years?
And Anderson County broke that streak, I think.
Is that right?
I believe so.
But I remember when Cleveland
Coach Kerr, I think,
was a powerhouse. Ottawa is a pretty good football team right now. No, he was at Ray County. But Cleveland had Benny Hammonds, I think, was the coach down there then, wasn't he? That put that thing together.
You look there at Science Hill 5-5. Cleveland at 4-5. Hardin Valley didn't have a very good year this year. 6-4 is not, it's not.
But Hardin Valley's another team that lost a couple of games by 3 points, 7 points.
They did lose.
They were in a lot of games.
You're right. They did lose some close ball games, but they didn't think that they thought they were going to have a better year than what they had too. So, 6-4 is respectable. So they play in a pretty tough region over there too.
Well, they lost the Dykes kid last year. That was probably one of the premier running backs.
He was
in the Knoxville League, and so it's just hard to replace him. And then they lose a Thursday night game, just lots of turnovers and things.
And if you look at that, if Farragut wins it, gets in the top part of the bracket, gets away from Maryville to probably round 3. So that's not till a round 3 game. I think the 6A's decide it probably in round 4 if Oakland makes it that far. And I think Maryville will have to travel. If Maryville is in round 4 and Oakland is, they'll have to travel to Oakland.
Bearden got the short straw, didn't he?
That's what I say, one and done, man. It's one and done.
Wow. 8-2, 9-1. That's probably the only bracket like that in the playoffs.
It is.
Huh?
Oh, I agree with you. I'm saying it's one and done for them, man. One and done.
Guys, we've had a great year. We just got to go out and play Maryville now.
Yeah, let's get up for them. Let's, rah. But I think the thing that really gets you when people talk about is 9 classifications too many for Tennessee. It's evident that it is when you got a team that's got 0 wins that's going to the playoffs. 0. Then you got a team with 1 win going to the playoffs. 7 teams with 2 wins. And 15 teams with 3 wins, and 49 teams are going with losing records.
I wish you hadn't shown that stat because our buddy, if we could have phones, the phone lines would be lit up.
Eric,
right now.
he's already sent it to me. He's already hopping about it anyway.
Yeah.
So no, I mean we don't disagree with Eric, but it's just the way it happens. So
I disagree. I'm going to probably disagree with him on about 99. Put it on the computer sheet. About 99% of the time. Yeah.
I understand that, but that's just probably 9 class. But listen, who could come up with the right? No, I mean, what is it? 7? Is it 6? Is it 5? I mean, who knows? I mean, how do you know? I mean, I don't know how you really know. I mean, if you were picking today, how many classifications would you have? Let's say just on the public side. How
I
many
would,
would you have on the public?
I would probably have 5.
Five on the public
I would probably cut it one classification.
on each side, public and private.
Well, the private side only have about three or four classifications.
Well, apparently, according to
Yeah.
they have 3, so cut it.
Well, but they don't have many schools either, though. They don't have.
So if you're cutting it to 5, you're only going to cut it one classification. We're still going to have 8.
I could cut it, huh?
So if you cut it by
Well, yeah,
1,
I'm just talking about 5 in on the public side, and what you do then? Well, the private side, we don't really care what they do anyway.
we have to a little bit.
Why?
Well, you just do.
Well,
'Cause
I
it
think-
interferes with
I think
everything
what
else.
we're trying to do is eliminate what you just the graphic you just showed, and I think what you do there is when you start there's really not a lot of difference when you start looking at 5A and 6A. There's a lot of difference between single A and 3A. Because
No, I agree with you. I just think they oughta-
on those ends you're looking at some teams with 18, 20 kids coming out for football.
I would think 4 classifications on the public side and 2 on private.
On the private side, you've got a lot of disparity, but they can work that out however they want to. I don't really care how they work it out.
I understand that. I agree,
But-
and I probably am going to agree with you
but
because
the
I don't
public
really care
side,
either.
I
Just
think
get them out.
we can cut 1, and that helps. That helps a lot. If you cut two, then 1 and 2A get really hurt.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but that's probably correct too.
I think that's how you have to build it. Is
But you could,
is
but
from
you
the
could
bottom.
but you could keep that from happening in 1A and 2A if you made the attendance if you could, I think you could adjust that. I think they could adjust that.
I don't know. Well, it probably isn't. It probably isn't. I mean, basketball, you're in the same same situation.
Well, what happens in those other sports though, it waters it. If you listen to the coaches, they say it waters it down.
Yeah.
It makes it really weak to stretch it out. That's what they say. So I mean, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well,
so.
and the number, you got 5 on the basketball side. You don't need as many kids to come up. But I just think on the football side, if you cut it 1, you can make the upper half stronger, and you don't, and you could cut it 2. You could cut the top half, and you could cut the bottom half a little bit. Good to see Coach Gaddis in the house. He's fired up, and I'm sure he's got your picture on his.
Oh, I'm sure he does. But now listen, all year long.
Look at there.
I understand that. I've not even looked at that anymore. All year long, when I've picked Oak Ridge to win, I see it, Coach. Thanks. I appreciate you.
Trick or treat.
All year. Listen. Now hold on a minute. I've been waiting for him to come in so I could do this.
No, I'm
all year long, I picked him to win by 20 or 21. Okay. But tonight I'm going to change up a little bit. I'm going to pick him. He's got a 94.4% chance of making it to round 16. And his opponent, just to go show you how bad his opponent is, his opponent has a 5.6% chance to making it to the round of 16. So I'm picking the Wildcats at 94.
Well, you're going out on a real limb, aren't you?
Big limb, buddy.
Huh?
Big limb. He's not worried a bit about it.
Well,
Made no comment. You got him a
I'm going to
big bite of pizza and taking him a swig of Coca-Cola right now.
But now that's
he's
not a
good to
fair.
go.
That's not a fair statement for you to make because.
What do you mean? He's
well,
not
wait
worried?
just a minute now.
He's not shot me no picture up here yet.
Anytime
He's looking at his phone. He just looked at it.
He said
Watch
something
it.
about you being number 1 or something.
No,
So I
he
wasn't
he
sure.
not okay. I'm his face saver now. See, I'm one of his
Oh, I
favorite
told you
people.
that. I told you that.
He's a champ, man.
But
He's
you didn't.
good.
You're not being fair now because.
Why? I'm
Well, when
just
you
told him
say
what the
when you say
computer
no,
said.
you said the coach isn't worried. Anytime
Well, I
that
know
you,
he's
wait a minute.
worried. I'm just saying that, though.
Anytime that you got to get on
worried
the
about
bus
everything.
and go to a ball game,
He ain't got to get on no
you're
bus
worried.
Friday
Oh, sure
night.
they do.
He don't go no.
Well, they ride a bus from.
Oh, from the school over. They could walk over.
No,
he
no,
can
no,
tell
no,
his
no.
kids to
No,
drive
no,
over
no,
and get
no.
ready, and they'd
That's
be
part
ready.
of the tradition, getting on the bus.
Have you ever watched this right before when we go off? Watch this big film that comes on with him talking about everything. You need to hang around and watch that.
Oh, I watch it every week.
You'll
I
be
get
fired up. And you'll run through them
that's
double
what I
doors
do.
back there
That's
so
what I
fast
do.
it'll break them.
I run right through my front door at home.
You
Still fired up.
You're still fired up. He's fired up too.
Huh?
That's He's fired up too.
Well, yeah, there he is.
I'm glad I'm glad he thinks about me a lot.
Oh, I didn't say he thinks about
he
you a
does.
lot.
He
No, I
thinks
don't
about
think
me a
thinks
lot.
about-
He does.
Oh, I thought you said he thinks a lot about
No,
you.
he does that too. He's a good one, though. I'll tell you that. He talks to us. Win or lose, man.
I'll tell you
win
what.
or lose, he talks to us just about every Friday night. I give him that.
He's been a good trooper there to put up with you. Like
He has, and I appreciate him calling and talking to us on Friday night.
So now, is this the year you're going to ride to Murfreesboro?
No, we're not going to Murfreesboro. We're going to Cookville.
Cookville?
Yeah, if he's to the state championship,
no.
I'm going to be on the bus with him.
Well, the reason I said that, he said he'd put you on a bus to Murfreesboro.
No, that's what he'd like to do. Send me to the. Yeah, I can see him now. Here's you a ticket and a field pass to go to Murfreesboro.
That's why it threw me off.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He's not. I'm gonna get his mother's number and I'm gonna call her and talk to her.
No, you're not gonna get his
She's
mom.
watching
She's watching
tonight
right now.
She needs to give us a call. We need to talk to her about her son here.
And Ms. Gaddis, I just want you to know you did a good job, and he's doing well here.
He is,
and he's probably gonna be playing on Thanksgiving Day, or Thanksgiving weekend. So
that'd be good. Hey,
that's always a good
guarantee
time.
he'd take that right now.
Nothing you like better than to schedule a practice on Thanksgiving Day. That's the greatest thing you can do if you're still in high school football in Tennessee. That means you're playing.
That means
week
you're playing.
3. That's right. So what else you got?
That's all I got.
Huh?
We'll talk about the rest next week.
Well,
I'll give him another percentage of next week.
okay, so high school now. Let's talk about the good stuff here over on the hill now.
What good stuff?
Oh, I think good progress is being made.
We're not in basketball season
good
yet, so we
progress.
really can't talk about basketball right now.
Good
Tonight's
progress
first
being
game.
made. Yeah, good
What
progress.
what progress is being made?
Oh, you don't see any progress?
No. Another loss.
None at all.
I don't get no satisfaction out of moral
I didn't say
victories.
satisfaction.
Well, that's
I
progress.
said
Moral
improvement.
victories.
You don't see any improvement.
No.
Okay. I really liked our offensive scheme Saturday night. I thought he was putting us in some really good situations. I mean, eight for eight out on third downs, and I mean a couple of those third down plays, there was nobody within 5 yards of them. Crisscrossing, I thought it was a great play. In fact, Coach Gaddis is probably going to use some of that Friday night.
I bet he don't.
Oh, it was a great offensive series.
Whatever.
I think we just got to eliminate. You put an offensive line together when you lose Smith, and you've got to bring in a left tackle right off the bat, and you take those 3 illegal procedure penalties off, and who knows? I mean, that could have been another drive.
All right, we'll give him a moral victory then.
No, I'm not talking about a moral
Move
victory.
on to somebody else.
I'm just saying. I think there's improvement going. You just got to cut mistakes.
Do you think your team, Georgia, has a chance to beat Kentucky this week?
I think they'll go to Kentucky and be okay. They're not my team, but I think they'll go to Kentucky and especially if they see that cat that we had in here before the game. I mean, if they see him out in the parking lot.
But you've been with Georgia for a couple of weekends and a couple of games.
No, that's not true, and you know that.
True.
Now you know that. Although,
hey, how come you've told me before? Now let's just clarify something. You've told me before there's a lot of Tennessee stuff in your office. I was told there was a lot of Georgia Bulldog stuff.
No, that's not right. Your brother told you exactly. And
No,
so
my brother
you
didn't tell me
You can't
this.
get your brother in trouble. Your brother's a trustworthy, honest man.
My brother's not the one that told me this. This is a guy that you're probably going to do radio with Friday night that told me that.
No, he wouldn't tell you that.
Well, he did.
No, he wouldn't tell you
I
that.
asked him.
He's about half asleep when he's in there.
Chase?
Any of them.
I thought you were going to talk about Peabody. I wouldn't believe
Any of them.
Peabody
No.
anyway.
But I think Georgia, although Kentucky typically gives Georgia a hard time every year, regardless of where they're playing, I just think Kentucky's still just too one-dimensional. I think it's just too one-dimensional.
Too one-dimensional.
Don't you? I mean, I just don't think you can run Snell enough to control the game.
Well, they've done it all year long. I mean, they come back and won.
They've gotten
I don't
awful
know if
lucky.
they should
They
have
got an
won.
extra play there.
Yeah, they
at
did.
Missouri.
I don't know. We'll see. They're a team that doesn't have a quarterback neither.
But they you're exactly right. But they capitalize on mistakes. Now they when they get a turnover, they They
You got to
generally
give the
will
old
get you
guy
something.
credit that was in here
I like
earlier,
it.
dressed up in his little outfit. He said you got to take it when you got it, and they've got it right now. So they're having a really good year.
That sort of was that's blurred my image.
Well, it's blurred mine too,
Wow.
but still, yet we got to continue on talk for a couple more minutes. So
I mean, that was
anyway. It'll be that's for the East. That's for the SEC East.
It is for the East, and but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Kentucky, if Georgia puts a pretty good licking on them to see Kentucky start to decline. I mean, it happens every year.
And I had forgot about Kentucky having to come to Tennessee right after playing Georgia.
Right.
You could be right where Tennessee might get a chance at them. Maybe they'll have a pretty good week this week.
Oh, I think Tennessee had a chance at Kentucky wherever they played them. I think we are better defensively than they are offensively.
I'm surprised. See, and I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm surprised we're not better defensively right now because Pruitt's MO is a defensive coordinator. I'm surprised we're not better. We're getting hurt on defense a lot.
We just don't have any. We just don't have the pass rush.
I understand we don't, but we're still getting hurt a lot. There's a lot of missed coverages and stuff. I mean, I don't think
we're putting some of those guys on man coverage.
On man coverage
and getting a pass rush.
And they're just getting.
I mean, when you count to 5,
they're getting
back
blistered,
there,
right?
Yeah, if you start counting to 5 back there consistently, anybody can sit back there and well, not anybody.
Well, they've really went out and made an emphasis to recruit offensive linemen this year. I understand 5, and they possibly might take a 6th.
Well, and think back. Derek Dooley last year
he
recruited no offensive
right,
linemen.
he did. You're right. I agree with you.
And so
that's an emphasis, and the defensive.
You just don't pick all that up in one year.
And the defensive line is another emphasis too. They went out. I think they've got some commitments there. I think the biggest thing is during the contention for some 5-star running back. They really don't. I don't think they really think they're going to get him, but Tennessee's still on his list. And I want to say he's either in LA. He's either down toward. I think it's LSU. They think where he's going to go, but he still has Tennessee on the list, and they think they've got a chance.
And I think, David, I think with offensive linemen, you see other teams playing freshmen and sophomores. I think more so than anything, offensive linemen is where the coaching has to. I think coaching and getting technique is huge there. Let me throw another thing out at you. The thing that concerns me more about Coach Pruitt and Tennessee football is how do you catch up? We've let Florida, when they're down, we haven't taken advantage of it. Now Florida's back up, so now you're recruiting against Florida winning championships.
Right.
Do you think that with Georgia, with Florida, with LSU, and obviously Alabama, with all of those teams now playing for championships, can he recruit the quality kids to catch up?
Maybe.
You think so?
Got to win. I mean, winning cures all ills. So.
But you got to recruit to win, and you got to win to recruit.
If he starts winning a little bit, I think it'll happen.
But it seems like the Georgia, the Florida thing, we had Florida down and let them back off the mat.
You're right, but I think the biggest game this week in the SEC is Alabama LSU.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a game, man. I think Alabama wins by 30.
And I think that could be a demise start for LSU. It always happens.
They'll be right back on Coach O again, man.
I think so. Well, okay. Join us on the radio for Friday night's game. Rockwood will travel to Hampton, and we'll be back here next week.
New crew, Friday night scoreboard. There'll be a fill-in crew. Me and Cox won't be there. We're on assignment.
Well, you've got the credit card, so enjoy it.
That's exactly right. I'm going to use it, too.
And we'll have Steve Queener and
E.T. Stamey.
Very good. Okay, folks, come on down to the Pizza Inn, Coach's Corner, right after this.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operations. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan